Hey everybody, my name is Matthew Sambanis. I'm a certified public accountant. My firm is based in Long Island, New York, and in today's video I'm going to discuss with you top 10 reasons why you should become an accountant or a CPA, and something that I'm personally passionate about. So to jump right into it, the first reason that you're going to want to hear about and that you're going to know why you would want to become an accountant or a CPA is for the money, right? I think starting jobs now at big four firms are about $100,000 a year. Even the interns there get paid about $50 an hour, I believe. If you're at a smaller or mid-sized firm, probably $65,000, $75,000. But again, for coming out of college with a 4-year degree or a 6-year degree, that's an absolute fantastic starting salary in my opinion. Yes, you're going to be worked to death. At the bigger firms, you could literally expect to stay there for 3 days in a row. Or you could have hours of 9 to 12, meaning 9 in the morning until 12 at night, which was my hours when I was at number 6, the sixth largest accounting firm in the country. Or when I was building my firm, I used to work from 8 to 2, and that means 8 in the morning until 2 in the morning during the week. And on weekends, I would work another 12 hours Saturday, 12 hours Friday, 12 hours Sunday, and sometimes longer. But the perk to that is it pays off, right? There's no cap, especially if you make partner at a bigger firm or even a medium-sized firm, you're going to be paid, and you're going to be paid handsomely. So what else do you have? Well, you also have job security, right? There's a shortage of accountants right now. We're in high demand, thankfully, and a lot of accountants are retiring and they're looking to be bought out. And that creates a whole other platform and opportunities to make money. The business, right? The business model is very simple, right? There's only two things: death and taxes. So if you're a halfway decent accountant and a halfway decent CPA and somewhat good at sales, you literally have one of life's only two products that are guaranteed: death and taxes, right? Unless you're a complete deadbeat and don't pay taxes, but 99% of America thankfully pays taxes. So literally everybody's a prospect. Become a salesperson, learn how to sell, learn how to, become a people person. And that puts me on to the next bullet point of your personality, right? If you're a bookworm and you don't like talking to people, you can become an accountant. And unfortunately, accountants have gotten a bad rap, but basically, a lot of accountants, especially, any of the partners at the firm, at a firm, you need to be outgoing, you need to be gregarious, you need for people to like you. And that's how you get business, right? The people who make it rain, as they like to call it, are the people who are paid the most. But then again, you have plenty of CFOs, chief financial officers at publicly traded companies making 10, 20, 30, $40 million a year. Maybe not plenty, but a few select, and so there's no limit as to how much money you can make. Another benefit is you get to learn the ins and outs of all businesses and investments, right? So if you can understand the financials of a business, you understand that business. If you can understand cost of goods sold, administrative expenses, variable cost, break-even cost, other things of that nature, price to earnings, price to sales, how to value a company, all that stuff is covered in accounting, and that will teach you how to become a good investor if that's what you're also looking to do. And you also learn a lot of common sense stuff. So for example, every time I go to buy a stock, first thing I check out is their income statement and their balance sheet. But another thing is I look to see how much of the company is owned by insiders. And what does that do? That tells me that when I buy stock in a company and there's high insider ownership, which I prefer 3% or more for a publicly traded company at least, that the owners and the officers of the company, their interests are aligned with mine. Another benefit is job expansion, right? So you can become an accountant, you can do bookkeeping, you can do payroll, you can do taxes, you can do finance, you can become an instructor, right? You can do financial statement preparation, you can do audits, you can do reviews, you can do compilations, you can do a mix of each and every one if you really wanted to. You could do peer review. So there's no pigeonhole, right? There's absolute room for growth, and the only limit that you set is the one that you set on yourself. Another point that I like a lot about the accounting industry, and something that I don't want to say that I got from it, I'd like to think that I had it, but is, common sense, right? Numbers have to tie out. It always ultimately has to make sense. 2 plus 2 has to equal 4. Now, technically, there's a saying out there that if you ask an accountant what's 2 plus 2 and they say 4, don't hire them or fire them. Their answer technically should be, what do you want it to be? But we're not here to promote that or even really joke about it. But that is a joke, and let's keep it at that. Another benefit is you get to help people, right? The benefit of helping people, I can't tell you how many people I've had that came to me that owed a ton of back taxes. They got themselves in trouble, or better yet, let's say they owed the IRS $20,000 one year and they didn't have the funds to pay it due to this, that, or the third. And then all of a sudden they got hit with failure to file, failure to pay interest, failure to make estimated payments. And then they got hit with more interest and more penalties. And all of a sudden that $20,000 bill 3-4 years later became $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. What do? You do an offer in compromise, and you look to get it down to hopefully pennies on the dollar, or at least down to the original balance that was owed. So again, you get to help people, especially if you know what you're doing and you're competent and capable. Another perk of becoming an accountant or a CPA, and this cuts both ways, right? Listen, if you're lazy, whether you work for Amazon at the warehouse, or you're an Uber driver, or you're an accountant and you're just lazy and you just want to be, a basic busybody, that's fine. But if you want to get to feel what it's like to work a lot of hours and enjoy it, and know that you could outwork most people, and that you take pride in your work and how hard that you've worked, the work ethic is, just great. And again, there's that law, right? That unspoken rule of the harder I work, the luckier I get. So again, you build a great work ethic. I'm definitely a proponent of it. And, they say that, 1 to 40 hours per week of working is just to get by, and then everything over 40 hours is an investment in yourself. And no matter what field you're in, whether, like I said, it's accounting, Uber, whatever, there's plenty of opportunities out there, and the harder you work, the luckier you will get. Another benefit is, if you're smart, you're diligent, you get out of school, you make a lot of money or a good amount of money, and you keep on becoming more and more profitable to your clients and to the company you work for. And sometimes your clients, or client singular, is the company that you work for. The more valuable you are, the more money you're going to make. And if they don't pay you, then somebody down the block is willing to pay you. And how do you know? Because just look at the CEO of KPMG, right? And yes, that's one of the big 4 firms CEO, but at the end of the day, they're willing to pay. Look at other publicly traded companies, and there's no limit to how much money you can make. What else is there? Sales processes and procedures. So that's another bullet point that I brought up. And I guess, I would suggest strongly, regardless if you go to school for accounting or you become a CPA, to learn sales, right? And if you can do that and you learn processes and procedures, you can easily build a machine, meaning a CPA firm or an accounting firm that's a machine that makes you money through processes and procedures, and you don't have to be that hands-on unless you want to be. And as long as you hire the right people and everything operates the way that it should, that's a huge plus to it, in my opinion. So with that being said, I hope you found this helpful. There's that question of knowing what I now know, what would I do differently? And the only thing I would have done differently is probably worked harder, right? And I did work very hard. But again, that's just my opinion. Hopefully you found this helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks.